What's up, guys? Coach Gaglione here with another edition of our Gags Goals Updates. This is my road to the return to Mr. America. So we are many weeks out at the time of this recording. It's kind of like early, mid-May, so we're going to be a little bit behind on some of these vlogs, and maybe if I get my stuff together, I will do these a little bit more timely, a little bit more in the present. But again, coach first, competitor second, content creator is last on my list. But that being said, I want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of how I'm training, kind of some of the things that I'm doing. So currently I'm training 6 days a week, just kind of really spreading out a lot of the main exercises. Currently I'm doing some sort of barbell curl twice a week, kind of have a max effort day and kind of like a speed-ish, volume-ish day. So on day one, I'm kind of electing to do some seated curls and some preacher curls, and doing my heavier work from a seated position and doing my lighter work from a preacher position. And you can kind of see here that I'm using some different grips, and I'm using the OBZ bar because Mr. America, it looks like it's going to be using kind of a Hampton bar, which is going to be more similar to a traditional easy bar. So this OBZ I think it's OBZ 30, is going to be a little bit more similar. It kind of feels like a stiff bar, and I think it'll be kind of a good test of strength. One of the things I'm kind of realizing on the gopher bar is at a certain point, it can allow you to almost cruise to the top where the bar is almost like helping you because you're so kind of deep in the hands. Bruce Knox talked about it, wanted to say maybe like 10 or 12% more force is required on an OBZ, and it might even be more force on an OBZ 30. All right, a little hiccup there, so hopefully this works. So what I was kind of saying is that the OBZ requires a little bit more force. No matter like kind of what the weight, honestly, it just doesn't feel that fast, and sometimes I have to kind of like rewatch the video. So one of my things I think is going to potentially be helpful using the OBZ this cycle, my hope is that it's going to allow me to accelerate through the whole lift, whereas I think sometimes with the gopher bar, I have a tendency to kind of cruise to the top. So I believe I did either 5 or 6 sets of 3, and then I kind of just worked up to do some heavier singles. The singles were only, like I say, around 130 pounds or so. I'm not exactly sure how much this weighs, either 28 or 29 pounds. So I'm just going to kind of call the setup with the collars 30 pounds. So I believe the working sets, I did a bunch of triples in the 110 range, and then I did some two singles in the 130 range, but just trying to get a good groove in here and just trying to really try to work on a good start command, trying to get those arms along at the start. And if you notice, I'm kind of doing these kind of CT Fletcher style where I'm keeping not only my butt and my back against the wall, but also the head against the wall, which is even stricter. So again, I'm not exactly sure. Mr. America will be sanctioned through the APA. It's going to be on a regular bar. So it's going to be a good challenge, and then like I said, at some point I will return to the gopher, but it'll be nice to kind of do the Mr. America meet. That was in 2020. That was the bodybuilding show I did. So after kind of my after my kind of strict curl work, I'm just kind of doing some kind of more dynamic high pulls, just kind of working that position, and as well as some bent over rows. So just trying to, again, on this particular day, work a little bit more explosive, be a little bit more explosive. And then I'm also going to be doing some power curls as well as some shrugs and some upright rows. So just some things that I feel like are going to be helpful for me. So those are going to be the rows, and the explosive high pulls are going to be done with heavier weight. So this is 130 pounds using a little bit more body English, just getting focusing more on speed on this particular day, so I'm going to be using some more kind of explosive movements. And then again, obviously the rows and the shrugs are not super maximal, but just trying to do those with good force as well. I also find the OBZ bar a little bit easier to grip, and then I'm just kind of doing some power curls with a wide grip. And one of the reasons why I'm using the wider grip outside of just to make it harder, I just also want to use a non-competition grip because I don't really want to confuse my bar pad. It's not really a good practice to kind of keep the bar, to swing the bar out in front of you. But I think that the power curl can have some good utility, but I don't want to kind of have that interfere with my contest technique. So we have, I think this is 95 pounds. So again, just trying to kind of get my biceps and shoulders a little bit more explosive in a more, like a less than ideal path. Again, I don't know like what the transfer of training is going to be, but I just figured, again, it might be a good idea to include some of these power curls in the routine, as well as some underhand grip upright rows. So these are done with like less body English, or basically no body English, and kind of the power pulls are going to be done with more body English. So that's kind of basically the routine. So again, curling twice a week. I'll give you guys some updates as we kind of go. But overall, again, weight's been kind of dropping. Been paying attention to my calories, my steps, trying to manage my stress the best I can. But I am human, and it's still been kind of a stressful time. But I really am enjoying the strict curl training. It is kind of keeping my mind occupied, and I think that's really important, to occupy your mind when you got a lot going on. So until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you.